the planning board's in your statute that they have to.
Right.
The zoning board, you could ask them to do it.
Well, we give it to them to review anyway.
If they have any comments, you can ask them to get back before
Yeah.
the next board, sure.
I have a couple questions on the budget transfers. And I'm gonna guess, you may know the answer on this, but I don't know for sure. For the pages aren't really numbered, but for the general fund, assessments, professional services, it says contract with TOT, Town Tonawanda, that's what that is. In the city of Tonawanda. What is that $25,000? Did we not forecast that, or do you know offhand?
Did not know offhand. I can find it.
Professional services.
In theory, it
An
should have,
assessment.
we should have known what the amount was, so I'm surprised it didn't have been in the budget.
Unless it's something beyond the scope of the,
Maybe it was an additional assessment or something.
yeah. Let me check.
The other one was VAS/SW purchase. It's under safety inspection.
Well, that was their IP, the new software.
Okay,
Where is that, where is it?
that's under general
It's under
fund.
safety inspection,
Yeah, third one down,
EAS.
or fourth one down.
What's the purchase? Oh, yeah, that was their software, that was their software.
That's for the cameras out there, right? Is that what that
No,
is?
that's their new building software. That was actually approved by the board 30 years ago.
CAD, so whatever it's called.
It's their IPS, it's all their, building permits and licenses and, all their stuff that they keep the files in.
Yeah, that's 15,000. So I wonder why.
That was budgeted 3 years ago? It was approved
And then
by-
the highway department, does anyone know, so just payroll distribution by 90,000.
Probably overtime costs.
Right.
And then exceeded budget, $20,000. Miscellaneous, B&W, gas and oil, okay. So that one I can figure out.
Okay.
And the last one, so it indicates on the last page for water fund budget transfers, it almost looks like it's overtime pay, but it shows retirement contribution. So that is, overtime pay affects retirement contribution? Does it? Okay.
It's based on your salary.
Yeah.
Does it? Okay. That's it.
Okay,
That's all I had.
so with that being said, moving on to, I want to set a date for this. I know, Rock, but I just to have these guys in to see what we can get out of them, see what kind of, the numbers are very high, I thought. So, but we, let's finish this process and talk to these guys and see what they have to say. Do you guys want to set a date?
I don't know.
Okay.
I understand that these people can do these kinds of things, but at that kind of money, I would think that we could get, the town, whether it's through board members, whether it's through the Parks Recreation Advisory Board, whether it's through an ad hoc committee you set up, or however it's done, we could get the pulse of the community and kind of come up with a preliminary design. And the longer we let this go, the more it languishes out there and nothing gets done.
And I feel the opposite. I feel to have something like this that puts it all in process and moves it ahead and doesn't leave it up to council people or members, and it's just a more professional way of going forward. This is their expertise. It seems like a lot of money, but we're talking about millions of dollars. So you also don't want to waste millions of dollars either by not doing it in a professional manner and not getting, not only that, is you don't want to waste your time, when we're talking about wasting time, of how do you get the public on board for a big project like this? And that is a huge undertaking in itself.
So there's something in Sylvester's which says acquisition of the Grand Island Plaza from the current owner is nearing completion. What does that mean?
Must be
Is there
buying
an
it from
extra copy?
Don
Because I
Singh.
can get copies of these.
Somebody
You know
must be
what's on
buying
the
it.
table.
It's on the
Here, you
table.
can look at that one.
Did you go into your
Lance
office?
have enough copies
Yeah,
did you
so
go in your-
you have a pile on your,
Did you go in your office?
yeah, it's,
Oh, I'll go get
today?
it.
Okay, because that was
if
on
you
my
wanna just start
yesterday.
looking, you can look at that.
Yeah, I went through some of this one. I'm gonna take it, so you can roll the copy.
I think it ends up
So
being a town board decision anyway, right? We can get all the information we want from whomever, and it ends up being a town board decision of 5 people sitting around the table
You
here
could do a
to
public
say
referendum.
whether or not we could.
Why would you do that? We're
It's a lot of money and I think the community should have input.
well, they hired you to
They
make
did.
those decisions.
They did, but we also, years ago, ice rink was supposed to go in and the community didn't want it, so
Yeah,
I was.
well, they can always, if the
I mean,
community, if the
I guess
community,
it depends on the cost, but when you look at these, they're saying $6 million, but then all figures are preliminary, so that you know that's 10.
no, these are not good proposals. I
They're
would agree.
terrible, this Sylvester doesn't even show what they're gonna
No.
charge for it.
No, I would agree.
And they're all vague, I mean, so this $6 million project here is $10 million, I'm not comfortable with that. And I would put that out to the public and let them decide.
Well, we're not making any decision on spending any money, I'm just making a
I
point
know,
to
but
bring them
every
in and
one
talk
of
to
these
them.
things are the same thing, so Ray's idea probably isn't that
Well-
far-fetched, cause if you get some input from the community up front, then.
I
When
tend
you
to,
look
I
at
tend to agree with you, I think there's a lot we can do on our own to do some of the groundwork. And I think that a lot of this is common sense, frankly, and we know better than anybody else what we want. But I think it doesn't hurt us to call them in to see what else they wanna talk
So
about.
Sylvester is sitting here saying acquisition of the plaza is nearing completion, so they're not even going out to other areas looking for other deals. This guy's gonna jack the price up of the plaza, and this $5 to $6 million doesn't even include.
Well, that
So,
was one
so
of
what kind of deal is this from Sylvester? I just don't get this.
I think this is why you gotta talk to Sylvester and say, what are you pushing here? What doesn't make
Well,
any sense?
obviously, if they're gonna buy it, they're pitching that they want you to buy it from them, but they're not going out to any other properties looking for the best deal.
Exactly.
Well, I think the reason for that is the property manager already has an in with the owner and saying to himself, okay, listen, I think I can acquire this property, and then I think I can build a community center for you that's gonna have the kinds of things that you said, it's not gonna give you everything that you were asking before, but it's gonna kinda have the things in it that you asked for, and I think I can do that in the $5 and $6 million range. I think they're just ballparking it, telling you that,
That's what they're
I
doing.
think, here, in the plaza, this corner of it, I can build you a community center for $5,000 or $6,000.
Exactly.
And it's really, really general, and I think they did that on purpose. I
And
think,
this is a lease.
what?
This particular one is a lease only.
And I don't know if we'd want to
Grand
lease, I
Island
mean, if it was a
Plaza.
lease
Well,
buyback, maybe that would be
that's-
something to look at.
So that's
I
another
doubt
question.
very much if we would be interested in leasing something, because then you're leasing it for a long time, unless the lease agreement is something like including maintenance of the building. And then you never have to worry about your maintenance costs. And you don't have to worry about your increased labor costs, and you don't have to worry about increased insurance costs or anything else, it's just a lease agreement. So I don't know about that, but it seems like the way that we did one of our buildings, the lease option to buy would be what we might be interested in. I'm not saying we are, I'm saying we might be. And I think there's enough brains around, it's always really easy to say what you want. I'd like this building, and it's like Hamburg is gonna pay $40-some million for a 2-rate complex to some Canadian firm out there? because they want this, and 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 want that. Versus what we could really use, maybe just a little bit past what you need. And
But
forever.
I think you do have to have a plan for the future, this isn't gonna be something.
It can
we're
be
just gonna
planned
knock
for the
out.
future, all you need to do is, you have the appropriate area. I'm putting a box down and I need what's in this box, but I'm going to need some more area because I'm gonna wanna add on, and I might wanna add on a Golden Age Center, I might wanna add on a library, and I might wanna add on a swimming pool, and if you put it on a 1 acre lot,
You're done.
that's,
When you start
Bad
piecemealing everything out though, cause then it's easy to say, oh, we can do this, we can do that, and our department, this department can do this, and this department can do that. When you start looking at the feasibility and the different properties and the different designs that would work for what we want, going out to the public, selling this to the public as well, and getting the public input, I think is really, really important.
Why don't we go and pause this discussion for tonight, because we're not gonna get anywhere, and it's something we don't wanna set
Yeah, I
a,
wanna look through
we don't
this.
wanna set an appointment for this anyway. We'll
I'd
talk
like
about
to
it.
talk to them.
I would too.
I'd like to talk to them, I mean, it doesn't hurt to see what their ideas are, and
Okay, if you want,
and then if you wanna spin off of that, I mean, there's,
well, we're gonna meet tomorrow, why don't you guys bring some dates tomorrow?
Well, do you wanna just meet at the first workshop of the year?
no, not the first one.
Okay, the second one?
Yeah, 'cause you
The
got
first
your-
one's got a
Last
bunch-
one in
bunch-
January, how about
bunch of
that?
other stuff to
Yeah.
do.
How about the last one in January? Well, we can talk about the date tomorrow, why don't we all think about this tonight, we're gonna be together tomorrow, we'll talk tomorrow.
I probably will not be here tomorrow.
Okay,
Not that that's important, if you feel that you wanna meet with these people, I suppose you can meet with them, it's just, it's a lot of money for something, it's no different, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna equate this to this locating the rail station in Buffalo. They're gonna spend $100,000 for consultants to come in to figure out where to put the rail station when they have the bright minds that they have in the city of Buffalo, to sit around the table and go, okay, here's the pluses and minuses of here, here's the pluses and minuses of here, here's the pluses and minuses of here. Let's kind of talk about all the kinds of things, let's get the transportation people involved, from the NRTB or whatever that's called. You can sit around and figure it out.
listen,
And
I
the
just,
numbers are just
And who would design this whole
40
thing?
to 100,000.
You would do it
we would
in-house?
hire an
No.
architect, no, we'd hire
So
an
you're
architect.
gonna
This
hire
is-
an architect,
this is
you're
my
gonna
thought.
hire a PR company to deal
No,
with
not gonna
it.
hire a PR company.
I mean, once you start piecemealing this out and not having a full picture of what you're doing, that's when these projects get lost and off the rails. That's my opinion.
Yes, I think there's some truth to what you're saying, but I also think there's some truth to saying that the best people to determine what can be in this project are people of Grand Island.
And they will be at the table. in this
Yeah,
process.
I don't know, but this is a lot of money to get people to have meetings that we can
See,
have.
what's
with
really,
us.
what's really
It's a lot
interesting
of
to
money
me,
if he was talking 10, 15, $16 million. I mean, the last one was proposed was 11 million.
I'm not interested in paying that kind of money. Right from the get-go, I'm gonna tell you that I'm thinking that a $5, $6, $7 million project is tops.
And I would,
This right here, that this company put out, oh, that's really nice. That's like me drawing a picture and going, this is the house I'd like to build.
that being said, this is one they've actually built for another community.
That's wonderful.
But let me say this, I agree with you, we do not need that.
And besides the
Not that
point,
big of a community.
the least they could have done is taken an actual parcel on Grand Island and fit it into the parcel on Grand Island.
Right.
I mean,
No, I agree. I think
it's like paying an architect to draw up a building for you, but don't give any parameters.
Right.
And they draw, and they draw you up a Dover North building.
There you
I should have done that, shouldn't
Okay.
I?
It's a beautiful building. I'll
There's a
say
real
this-
nice restaurant too.
It is, the best restaurant in Buffalo. I'll say this as well, I think you're right, I think we don't wanna waste money on this, I think we all have some feelings about it. Let's think about it more, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow, and if you're not here tomorrow,
Yeah, it won't be
That's
here.
whatever you guys decide, you decide.
look,
And
I
we're
don't
just
think,
talking about meeting with these guys and having them give their song and dance, so.
that's all I'm saying.
Get
We-
their ideas.
So, yeah, I think we should, I'd like to meet with them and say, hey,
Okay.
why does this cost $50,000 to have 2 community meetings? Or whatever you're charging us, I mean,
All right.
you know, what's this, to me, it doesn't make any sense. And maybe Bev's comments are absolutely correct, the best way to find it out is to meet with them.
Okay.
And maybe prices can be better. dollars up front by doing it yourself. And it's, I can't tell you.
I just wanna
how much
ask them when
that
they come in, I wanna say, what is your deliverable? And is that deliverable worth what you're saying this is gonna cost? That's the conversation we have to
And one
have.
thing, if you can say, well, I know what we want, well, maybe what you want isn't what the rest of Brandon wants, or even what I want.
Look at, I'll be honest, we could talk about this for all time and eternity, we're never gonna, it's gonna be pretty much close to what all other communities have. It's not gonna be completely different
But
than
it's
what,
still gotta be within a certain price range, it's gotta be within
and we
a
can
certain
figure that out, I mean,
demographics.
so I'm just gonna say, 100 years ago, or 50 years ago, communities would get together and say, hey, Jake, he's good with cement, Randy's good with roofing, let's build a new building. So I think we should get closer to that model than the model where we're having the Disney vision.
Doing a study.
Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion, I mean, we can talk about this
And
more, but,
that's something we could make sure is what's gonna be in practice. If we wanna use just local people, then we use local people, it's something we request.
I also said too, I think Pam should be involved right from the beginning. Where
yeah,
Get the numbers and then back it into what it's gonna cost the taxpayers. Start from there.
100% agree with you. This cannot be like the vision that's been presented twice to the public, where there weren't any figures. We need to have the figures. We need to tell the people of Grand Island, this is our best estimate. We think we got it on the mark. For a $200,000 house, it's gonna cost you $70 more a year. And for the people over there, the 1,000 people on Grand Island that get a reduction in their taxes because they have limited income, all the way from 10 up to 50%, your house is going to be not that, it's going to be $53. Whatever the numbers that we come up with, we need to have that for the information for the people, so that they can make a rational decision of, I don't want my taxes to go up, I don't want my taxes to go up, which is understandable by everybody.
yep,
But if they say, I don't want my taxes to go up, except, if you give me something like this, maybe it's okay, cause I can spend $50 a year
Yep.
on something like that.
if we say to them, if we can go to them and say, this is the choice, $50 a year for 20 years, for a facility to have sports and recreation and health and wellness for the people of Grand Island, I think most will say, deal.
But if it's 15 million.
They don't, I don't think it will, look, we do not want the Hamburg model,
Well,
that's not what I
that-
wanna
That's
do.
what,
I
that's what
think
we're looking
that's-
at here.
I think
Yeah, no, that's why we bring them
that's
in.
way too much money, we shouldn't even consider
No,
thinking about a facility that would cost that much money.
I agree, I think we all agree, I think we wanna have, but I do think there's a thing, we can do some shared services, we can get some different, we can, get some of the things that are spread out throughout Grand Island in here now, and instead of wasting money on facilities that are already declining, well, let's just figure out, we gotta get to the place where we have our own plan then. And talking to them may give us some ideas how we
Well,
put
then
that
you
plan
also
together.
gotta take a look at, if you're gonna lease buyback or you're gonna build it, you're gonna add another 30-40% if you're not doing a lease buyback.
Yeah.
So don't you think those are things that we should have in place before we look at the next step? I mean, it's a huge difference if you do a lease buyback versus building it out at prevailing wage and everything,
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
30-40%.
Well, you gotta build
Well, I
out
think
prevailing wage
working with
anyway.
Peter, we can
For
find,
any
we can,
government
Yeah, I
building.
think that's true.
For any government building,
Yeah, then you do, but you still save a lot of money.
What-
don't you?
It seems like the first step, no matter what, is to figure out, what do you wanna build?
And what's our limit?
Are you gonna build a gym?
in part,
That's
yes.
it, no.
Yeah.
Are you gonna build a gym? That's it? Nothing. Are you gonna build a gym with offices? Are you gonna build a gym with offices and then a meeting, a pretty good sized meeting room for community center? Are you gonna put a swimming pool? What are you gonna build? When you get to that point of what you believe is within numbers that you think the community could stomach, then you figure out, okay, how do you wanna do this? You wanna try to put this out to bid? You wanna put it out for an RFP to anybody in the community that wants to try to build this privately and lease it back with an option to buy? I mean, but the first step seems to be, what do you need in this facility?
So we've talked about, I think the way to figure that out is, like we said, we would solicit responses from the,
They use people.
yeah.
Will help.
So we'll take it to the next step and see where it goes. Okay, can I move on to the next
So
issue?
invite them for the 17th?
Yes.
Okay.
Tennis courts. We already talked about it. We're gonna move forward with the piggyback option. Is there anything else
Do,
that I missed on the agenda?
because we actually have, a proposal here, do we need to act on this?
Tennis courts.
He asked for approval.
You do, and in fact, if you're inclined to go forward with it and you've got a workshop tomorrow, perhaps I can just give you a resolution you could adopt tomorrow, so you've got something in writing that references all of the parameters that you looked at being satisfied.
I'll entertain a motion.
So to do, you wanna do it tomorrow? Or just put it on the agenda for tomorrow?
Let's get it done right now. Let's get it on.
Tomorrow either.
We'll have barely
How
three
about,
votes tomorrow.
how about,
Let me.
contingent on approval from the town attorney?
Deal.
In which case, he'll write it up, that'll be the that'll be the actual motion then, that what he writes up, subject to the approval of the town attorney.
Yeah, let me just give you the parameters of which
So we
you're
have to
adopting. Give
suspend
me,
the rules to put that on.
not, well, not, if you do it right here, it's fine.
That's just a housekeeping thing to get the, what do you call it? The contract going.
Do you have the proposal in front of you?
The three of us?
You're gonna be, is that where you're gonna be here tomorrow night? And Mary gonna be here tomorrow night?
What's tomorrow night again? There's a real purpose.
Links.
Links given a
Presentation.
presentation of what we should be doing.
Right.
So, the motion would be along the following lines. So the proposal is to award the tennis court resurfacing project to Field Turf USA Inc. / Nagel Athletic Surfaces in the following amounts: $40,986.20 to Havenwood, for the Havenwood tennis courts, and $106,767.19 regarding for the Kagavine courts, in accordance with the December 12, 2016 proposal received from Field Turf Naval. And that's based upon the Keystone Purchasing Cooperative proposal, and with the finding that that proposal is, has been based upon, had been led by a agency or political subdivision, that that the underlying proposal was made available for other government entities, and that the contract at issue was let to the lowest responsible bidder in a manner that's consistent with general municipal law, section 103. And as part of this resolution, the town board will also authorize the engineer to execute such documents as are necessary to participate in the Keystone Purchasing Cooperative Network.
So let me repeat word for
Did you
word.
get all that?
I'll help you write it, but so that would be the resolution. I just want to make sure it's clear to what the amounts are, what's award, what the award's for, and that it would be based upon, it's effectively a purchase which is authorized under this best value purchasing methodology that the town has permitted itself to use in the town code.
Made a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Was that a question?
A roll call? Or all in favor? Is there anybody who dispute it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, okay. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, or
Actually,
go ahead.
You go first.
I was just gonna say, before you adjourn, there's one last thing I wanted to cover in executive session, so we do that and then adjourn.
Okay, sure. Can I make a motion to,
But right
Yeah.
to the public.
go ahead, Ray?
Remember we were talking about the trapping thing, and we all agreed that piece of property needs to be removed?
I spoke to that gentleman,
You know,
yes.
I thought it was gonna be on the agenda, to actually, because we actually have to make a resolution to
Oh, okay.
remove it from the permit.
That's my bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
but can we suspend the rules tonight in order to do
Yes.
that?
Yes.
As long as you have the unanimous
When you
consent of
spoke
the
to
board.
the gentleman, what did he say?
absolutely furious. But, I mean, I told them, like, see you Monday, and it is what it is. And I told them I'll take the heat for it in one day, so that's, we
I don't think
disagree.
We can suspend the rules, I think we're gonna have to put it on the next agenda then.
Why can't we suspend the rules?
He'll be here.
Because it's not on the agenda.
But we can suspend the rules to do it, put it on the agenda.
As long as you have unanimous consent of the board, you can suspend the rules and have an agenda.
He doesn't want to, but in principle, you don't want to do it because you want to have notice of it.
I think it's more than just him that needs notice of it.
Well, you could,
He's not,
you could suspend the rules to put it on the agenda for whenever you want.
Well, we can just say we're gonna put it on the agenda in the future.
Well, you sat around the table and we agreed to it.
yeah.
That's why we made the phone call, and it's supposed to be on the agenda. That's okay, but it didn't make the agenda. And if you suspend the rules, we do it. If we don't suspend the rules, it just needs to go on the next town board agenda. That's all it needs to be.
Mike, I'm gonna make a motion to suspend the rules. I hear your, I suggest that you go voice your concerns upstairs, if that's okay. But I think,
It
I
has
just
to
wanna-
be unanimous.
I think it needs.
What?
It has to be unanimous to suspend.
oh, it's just
Yeah.
unanimous for the words,
Yes.
then we can't, all right.
So don't bother.
We can make a motion.
Yeah, don't bother.
Okay, anything else
I'll
to
make
talk
sure
about?
it's on the next agenda.
You had your finger up too, Peter. What else do you want to say?
Just do something,
executive
just a
motion.
quick, executive session.
Can I'll take
Executive, so moved.